Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot.
Oh,
How are you, my friend?
good, man. Sick setup.
Oh, thank you.
Sick setup. Oh, man, you got a lot of records.
Yeah, I've been collecting for a while. Yeah, the player isn't the greatest, but it works. It looks
It's a vibe
clean.
that yeah, you got the white vibe going, and that's
Yeah.
cool. That's tough, dude.
Cool, Mike. Thank you so much for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you, man.
yeah.
Thank
So
you for some interest.
of course, dude. I love the song that you put out so far. It's the Good Energy track. I love it. It's awesome.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, very cool. Oh,
Does
yeah.
it
So
feel good during the craziness? Does it feel like a lot? Like, what does it feel like?
it feels good. I was going to ask you about if that was written prior to the current state of the world.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was.
I didn't know if it
It
was a
was.
response to what was going on.
Dude, if I honestly don't think I would be able to write that now. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I was kind of wondering.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, dude, because like I really wanted to, I wasn't sure what to put out at first. You
Uh-huh.
know what I mean? Because I have so many records and so many different vibes going on
Oh, yeah. You wrote a
that
million songs, man. A million for a million rad artists, too.
thanks, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just so many different, spaces that I like to be in. And yeah, this was definitely before all this craziness. And I literally just the universe felt like it just wanted that one to come out. Like it got in the FIFA game before it even came out, and I was like,
Whoa.
all right, let me just like. I think the world just could use some because it
Yeah.
definitely could. I wasn't sure, I never am gonna know how people are gonna feel or respond to things, but at the end of the day, I was like, I think it's dope to just put out some shit that feels good,
Yeah, totally. It's a dope vibe, dope song. I really dig it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Our podcast is about your journey in music, so we'll get to that song for sure. But why don't you tell me about where you grew up?
Okay, cool. I grew up in Katona, New York, which is slightly upstate
Okay.
from the city. And I grew up with my parents and my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad actually, he was when he like went to school for finance, did this whole thing for like
Sure.
2 seconds. And then once he graduated, he was there, met my mom, and was like super depressed in work, and had always wanted to become an actor of some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So then once like they were he was just like, I'm like depressed. I need to do what I am passionate about, And that was like a big thing to grow up with for me, because as I, gravitated to music, they introduced it to me through like toy instruments is essentially how it happened.
Oh, sure.
There was like a basket of my brother's toys and stuff, and I just fell in love with it. And I think a big, like, my parents and my whole family has always been so supportive, seriously. And man, like the fact that my dad went through that, I think was a big part for him to be like, yes, you know what I mean? Because it's like,
Right.
He
took a risk.
Yeah, man. And so I just am forever grateful for that in the foundation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were there to support me just loving music. Like I started with pots and pans. So then there was a lollipop drum when I was, a year and a half old. And then then there were maracas or whatever it was, and it was just like, I just loved sounds and noise. What up, Donnie? And, yeah, man. And then I just literally just kept playing it forever. And like, there was this, I've talked about this before, but like the first time I started like writing music was, I had my elementary school crush. Her name was Carly.
Okay.
We like, we had the whole vibes going, the whole, 5 years in there,
Sure.
And in fourth grade, we were both going away to summer camp. And so I was like, okay, let me like make her a song so that she doesn't forget me, type thing. Right. I don't even know why. I just felt the need to do it. And I had just won a J Trainor guitar and a little amp in a raffle at my brother's middle school.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So then I'll never forget, like, I remember like every moment I've ever made each song so random, but this particular, I remember this day so vividly. I was just sitting like this. Literally, I was like, I was in there with the guitar and the amp, and I just started singing like, one day I went to school and couldn't. It was like, the whole thing. And I just recorded it on my brother's, computer. And then that was my means from then on. It was just what I loved to do. Did you give it to her? Yeah, of course. I made her, I burnt her a CD. You know what I mean? And I had these dope, I don't know why I thought they were so sick, but I had these CDs that were like white. And they were matte white on the top.
Oh,
so you could,
right. You could draw on them and stuff.
Yeah, you could draw on them. So I wrote a message and everything, and with the blue Sharpie. And yeah, dude, that was
wow.
I don't know. That was where it started, and I just loved it. Like I never have stopped.
That's crazy. I wonder if I bet you she still has that CD with the song.
Oh, I hope so. I've been in touch with obviously we then went to high school together forever. It's like we fully know each other.
Sure.
But I remember texting her. I've literally thanked her on multiple occasions, to people or actually to her, because I'm just you were my first, inspiration for creating a song for something,
Right. And it sparked the whole career for you. That's crazy.
It kind of did.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So 4th grade, you wrote that song that kind of got you going as far as music went. What was the first instrument you learned how to play?
Drums.
Oh, it was drums? Okay. You did mention the pots and pans and lollipops, and you ended up getting a kit.
Yeah, so I did the pots and pans. Then I had this lollipop drum. It was my favorite thing ever. And then I had a grand percussion drum kit.
Okay.
Which is the little guy.
Yeah.
And it was in my basement, which was super scary, which is the source of my fear of the dark, which is it's
like you were afraid to go into the basement.
Oh no, I loved it because all my toys were. It was where my instruments were and stuff. But there was legit, it was a scary, undone. It was just a basement, and I was young, and my parents for walls decided to to section off areas, literally hung super thin, dark blue, curtain, fabric. So if there was a hint of wind at all, they would just move a little bit. I saw Lord of the Rings when I was young, all right? And I swear to God, every time that shit moved, I thought there was a fucking orc or golem was in there about to get me. That was a thing. But yeah, and there's one light in the middle of you go down the wooden stairs, and you run the scare the concrete, whatever, and there's one light with a string.
Yeah, I gotta find the
run
string.
And turn that on. Maybe I'd be in there playing my things, and then it would be a thing to leave. It would be a thing. I would have to be okay, and the whole thing would just go and just run up because I was so scared, dude.
That's so funny.
But yes, I had grand percussion, and then having an older brother was helpful, and my dad being he really was into musical theater.
Oh, cool.
So, he played guitar and sing and stuff, and so we would just jam. Honestly, we had a band named after our road. It was called Lions Rock. No big deal. We played Train and stuff like that.
Oh, covers? Good. Nice.
We ripped Drops of Jupiter on the
we ripped it.
We ripped it at the Halloween parade, you know what I mean?
There you go.
But
and that was with your brother? Your brother was in the band with you?
Yeah, that was me, my dad, and my brother. And
that's cool.
My brother would be usually playing guitar and singing. My dad would be guitar and singing. I'd be drums. We didn't, we were in a family that understood that you should probably have a bass in there, but it's, looking back at it, it's all right.
It worked.
We did what we could.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that really, I don't even talk about that much, but that was definitely a big, part of me, in playing music all the time.
Sure.
We just, would do it and stuff. And
aside from that band, did you have any other bands in high school or anything?
Yeah, I had a band. Yeah, I've random bands here and there, with just my friends. I have one called 2 and 1 because there was me, there were 2 boys and 1 girl. Pretty clever.
Nice, yeah.
But so that was the thing. Made some songs there. Like we recorded stuff in the basement, as usual. Eventually, we redid the basement, which was huge for my mental health.
Yeah.
My fear of the dark. But,
got rid of those curtains.
Yeah, dude. That was amazing. It's bands here and there, and then I just kind of like my dad taught me some chords on the guitar when we went camping. Like my family goes camping every summer for like 16 years now.
Wow.
And on one of those trips, they we always bring an acoustic, and they like taught me like some chords, and then I played from there. I took drum lessons, and from when I was like 5 to like 16, I took a little bit of piano lessons, but I just like honestly I could probably benefit from lessons now. I don't take any, but I actually probably should.
You already made it. You're already there.
Yeah, but
well, so then so tell me about going from upstate New York to working with Megan Trainor and the Lizzo and these people that you've got to help produce for.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's crazy. I really just really wanted to work with just awesome people and like really cool like just great artists and make music. And so I just literally just worked really hard until that happened. And then to start, like the universe helped along the way. It was like my manager, like just random stuff helped here and there, like type things where like my brother's friend from high school was the assistant for my manager, who has been with me for 6 years. And we've kind of grown together. Like he was still figuring it out then, but my brother was like, yo, you should show Don like some of Mike's stuff. And like at the time it was like videos from when I was like 12 singing like terrible songs in my backyard.
right
But Don was like, sweet. And then like came to the summer program I was doing, where there was a talent show at one point, and he like drove from DC to Cambridge and like watched me perform in the talent show. It was like, all right, like I want to manage you. And we all was like,
oh
sick.
wow, yeah.
And so then we just like literally just went for it. Kind of, we didn't really know what we were doing, still don't really, but we just grinded, man. And we started. We literally knew one person in LA. We knew an engineer, which I thought was like a really big deal. Like I like didn't know anything. And like we started doing stuff in DC because that's where Don is from. We went to Atlanta a little bit.
Just record right?
Yeah, we would just like, he had a friend in DC who had a studio, so we went there in DC a few times. House Studios, shout out. That was some OG right there, Dave Knox. And Atlanta, same thing. He went to school in Atlanta. My manager went to school there, so he had some friends there. So we would just like kind of go around, and I'd be this like little 16-year-old being like, ah! and then we went out. We did like one session in New York, which is funny. Like I never really worked that much in New York, which is funny, but
yeah.
And then dude, literally like in LA, we would be out here. Like I would come, we come every once in a while, like over the weekend between like school and stuff. And we would like go to this one studio that the engineer worked at, and literally we would just like sit in the hallways and like I'd like make beats and kind of meet people. We had a few sessions actually in the rooms, but we were really just in there, trying to get in. And we do things like we would literally go to Atlantic Records when it used to be on Cahuenga, and we'd press the intercom. But like we did this at a bunch of studios, like press the intercom, be like, hey, so Don Isaac, Mike Sabath here for a session. And we like, wait. And then like every once in a while, they'd be like, all right, come on up. Like, what I mean? We just, literally, and we would just be in there and be like there was one time, literally we went to the studio Glendale Place out here. And we had heard that like Wiz Khalifa was going to be there. So this is literally real. Like we just like drove to the studio, literally, and just like we actually at first we had a session there like one day that week or something, and Wiz Khalifa was there. Like that's why we knew, because we were like near it, right? And we were like with someone in their camp, kind of. But then like we were like, we gotta get him Wiz. So then we like literally went back and like pressed the thing. We were like, hey, like Mike Sabath down here for Wiz. They're like, all right, come on in. Like, or like whatever
Oh my
it was.
gosh, yeah.
We like got in somehow. Like it wasn't that easy, but like we like got in, and I literally sat in. That's like a courtyard type studio, and there's like a bunch of studios around like a little center area.
Yeah.
Bro, I literally sat at this round table, making beats for like 10 hours for like multiple days that week. And just random people, like Wiz would just like walk over there and be like, whoa. And like,
Oh man, yeah.
And then like, Verse Simmons is like a great writer who we ended up working together later in time, but it's like just so funny, dude. Like it was literally that. It was, we were straight hustling, doing whatever we could to just be around and, try to figure it out. And I feel like we're still trying to figure it out, honestly.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Always. And yeah.
Well, what was the first cut that you got? And like, how did that happen?
The first cut was actually with Jordan Fisher. He's on Disney Records.
Okay.
But yeah, like other just serendipitous, like weird stuff was like, I was sitting on a plane ride out to LA during one of our hustle missions. And I was just making a beat on the plane, and this dude sitting next to me was like writing a bunch of stuff down, and we didn't speak for like the whole time. And then we were like, he was like, yo, like what are these colors on your screen? And I was like, oh, I'm like making a beat, whatever. He was like, oh, dope. And then we just like talked for a while, and then this is when I was like 17, like 18. We were still like coming out here.
Sure.
He was like, oh, like I work for the New Yorker, like I'd love to do a piece on you. And I was like,
wow.
I was like, okay. And then that like led to me working with an artist for the first time. And then like that somehow led to me getting in the room with Selena Gomez all of a sudden out of like a year later. And then, and then publishers started hearing about me. And then, we were breaking into things and being around people. So then we eventually signed a publishing deal with Sony. That was my first deal. And then, they started putting us in rooms, and then we just didn't, and then we just went in,
Yeah. Wow. And I mean, some of the people we've got to work with, Lizzo, Jonas Brothers, like you said, Selena Gomez, Carly Hansen. I mean, that's what an amazing journey to be able to, to share the studio and help write with some of these amazing artists.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been really cool. I've been really excited about like really working with people that, lately just that have become like really good friends, and people
Sure.
that I really, really believe in. And, like I've been working a lot with, I don't know if you've heard of Eddie Benjamin, but he's about to.
Not yet.
He's truly
I'm about to hear about him.
He's about to take over, man. He's incredible. He's literally become like my little brother. He's 18. He's from
Wow.
Australia, and it's just absolutely incredible. And we've done so much work together. I just believe in him. This girl, Ray out in the UK. She's like one of my best friends. We do a bunch of stuff. Like we're making. I've been just inspired by, of course, like all the big artists, and like I love Lizzo, and I love like Miguel, and all these people are just so incredible. But I also I've really been enjoying like, being able to be a part of building something,
Yeah. Working with some of the newcomers and stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, so I want to talk to you now about, now you're signed to Warner Records, and you have a solo thing going on right now. What made the shift, and why did you decide to go on, break out on your own?
When I was younger, I always wanted to just be an artist. And then one time I heard that someone wanted to like record one of my songs. I was like, what does that mean? I was like, what? And that kind of like started that whole journey. That was like new for me, and that became my main thing. And it's just flowing that way anyway, really. And then, it kind of just started flowing, growing into this as well again, when you know, people just around the industry were kind of like industry. That's actually interested in doing some stuff with my artist stuff. And really what happened is like I just made these like 3 songs one week. I got like super inspired, didn't really think anything of it. And literally then I ended up, you know, I this is around the time when I started working with Pharrell, which was like the greatest thing for me of life. Like honestly, after that, I was like, okay, like I'm happy. Like that dude is literally one of my biggest inspirations, is just who he is and what he has done and stands for. It's just, you know, so that was amazing. And during that time, like a week before we had worked, I'd made these like 3 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, why aren't you doing artist stuff? And I was like, whoa, really? And he's like, like anything he said, I was just like, whoa. And man, yeah, I was like, well, I do have these like 3 songs. Like, all right, play them. And I was like, oh God. And so I played him the songs. Literally the scariest moment of my life. But he, you know, he seemed to be into them, man. And it was like, so I was just like,
yeah, yes.
It's like best moment ever, man. And yeah, and like honestly, that day really did kind of push me extra, you know. It was like, wow. I mean, sick.
Yeah, I mean, if Pharrell co-signs on it, it's probably
I was just
got
like,
something going
wow.
on.
No, that was like the craziest day, man. He's just, you know, that was just so inspiring for me, and you know, just pushed me. And yeah, dude. And I honestly don't want to complicate it too much for me. You know, I just love making music in any capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I like making it by myself. Sometimes I like making it with my friends for me. Sometimes make it for other people. It just, whatever it is, I just really want to keep enjoying, you know, making music and, you know, and trying to get better, you know, and just trying to make great music, trying to have a good time, not take it for granted, and just,
sure,
you know, just do it.
Yeah. Is this is this going to be something that you're really going to I mean, like go full force on it? Like, do you have aspirations to tour and like put a full record out, or is it just kind of like I put these 3 songs, I made these 3 songs and they're dope and I want to get them out there?
Yeah, no, it definitely triggered, and I'm like very wavy with how my inspiration lies, like where it sits. But no, yeah, I ended up I made a whole album last year.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And
okay.
Yeah, dude, I just got super inspired. I made a whole album, building this like world really, and just like it goes in waves of that level of inspiration. And I was like actually ready to drop it, and then the COVID thing happened, and it just didn't feel right.
Sure.
Because the album, this particular album is just so like, it's just like woof, it's just like a lot, you know.
yeah.
So it just didn't feel right. But yeah, man. I mean, I am definitely gonna be. Yeah, I'm very inspired to. This is definitely a part of the journey, absolutely, and I'm excited to just see where it takes me. You know, I'm keeping it open, just gonna flow with it, and continue to work with other artists, continue to make stuff for me, and just enjoy, man, and try to, you know, hopefully I can inspire some people, because I think if we're all inspired, the world would be a really great place. So the more people, you know, I can inspire if possible, that would be amazing. And, you know, give in any way that I can along the way, because, you know, what we do lives past our bodies, you know? So I just want to create great art if I can. You know, I've made some that I like, but I really, you know, want to push myself to create, you know, just always, you know, level up, and because that stuff lives forever, you know, your impact lives forever, and I want to, you know, do some good while I'm here. That's really it, you know, and just enjoy it while I can. And, you know, I feel very lucky, man. I'm eating a watermelon talking to you right now. And
I love that you just cut it in half. You're just eating it straight out of it.
Yeah, dude, it's the vibe. And then, you know, I'm just building a Lego bus. You know what I mean?
Just living.
So like, I feel good. And I'm sorry if I'm a little dead. I was in the studio last night till quite late. I hope
it's all
okay.
No, you've been amazing, dude. I really appreciate your time.
Of course, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I do have one more question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
I'll take some. No.
And then you can get back to
No.
your Lego set.
Dude, if I were to give myself advice, which would be the same as giving everyone advice, honestly, it would just be make sure you continue to just love doing it and lead with that. Be genuine in who you are and just don't give a fuck. Care so much that you don't. You know, you can't live with fear. You can't live with fear. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing for me. Be grateful for it and just don't live in any fear. Just do it. Who cares? Who knows what'll happen? Just do it. If you love to do it, just do it. Literally, period. That's the advice. Just do it if you want to. Just work hard until you don't want to. If you want something, just do it. Do anything you can to make it happen. That's really like what I was taught growing up, and I was very fortunate, but you know, just go in. You can do it. You really can. Like I'm no different than anyone else. I just have a lot of hours making music. I have a lot of hours. That's the only reason I'm here. Age doesn't matter. It's just what you do in your days. It doesn't matter what age you are. Well, how much time have you spent? How much love have you given to each thing, you know? That is how far you will go in what you do. Bringing it backward.